therefore great pleasure, and it is a particular honor, to welcome to the podium one of the most distinguished statesmen of Africa, Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria and a general in his army, who speaks to us from the African continent, from the continent where energy for sustainable development is one of the key priorities. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Your Excellencies, I would like to begin by thanking the government and people of Austria, the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis, and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, for convening yet another forum aimed at reaching a consensus on a common understanding towards energy access, effective and efficient strategies for local and universal access, and increase in energy efficiency, enhancement of identified indicative targets, and policies in support of these objectives. I also want to express my sincere appreciation to the Director General of UNIDO, Dr. Kande, who sent a personal invitation to me many months ago on behalf of the organizers and followed it up with several messages to ensure that I put other engagement aside to be here. Brother, thank you very much for your invitation. In the last few months, I have been opportune to speak at different forums on a number of problems facing our world in general. In all these meetings and discourses, focus was on looming, impending, and/or existing crises like water security, food security, climate change, intra- and interstate conflicts, unemployment, MDG, and lack of social justice. On deep reflection, I see that the theme for this meeting, Energy for All, Time for Action, has implications for and bearing on all these other issues that I have mentioned. There is direct correlation between energy and almost all other issues that the world is engaged with today. This is more the case with development issues. Some have attempted to measure level of development of a country or a community by energy consumption per capita. The phenomenal development and growth that the world had enjoyed over the last 3 centuries had been fueled by energy, and the main source have been coal, oil, and gas, which is not ubiquitously available, and it is becoming commercially, environmentally, geopolitically risky and dangerous. Apart from the danger posed by the indiscriminate use of fossil fuel in human environment and human existence, there is the issue of limit to availability in the long run. In recent times, revolution has been brought into communication through technology. The whole world has been better for it, even though the initial research and development took place in very few developed economies. But today, even an illiterate farmer in my own village is a beneficiary. And while we spent all that we could spend on telecommunication before the advent of mobile telephone, we could only get less than 500,000 lines. In the space of 10 years, we have got over 100 million lines on mobile telephone. If anything is a measure of Africa's underdevelopment, energy deficit is a glaring indicator of African poverty and inadequate development. If there will be energy for all, which will not go the failed way of education for all or health for all, the governments and the private sector of a few committed, developed, and emerging countries must take the lead and blaze the trail. This is why the position that has been taken by President Obama in the US, Chancellor Merkel of Germany, and President Hu Jintao of China must be commended and encouraged. We will not have energy for all unless and until there is revolution in renewable energy, with cost sharing and burden sharing among those who can afford the initial cost of research and development. We in Africa believe that our salvation for adequate energy supply for domestic and industrial use lies in fast and revolutionary development of renewable energy resources, the sources of which are almost limitless. To get electricity to the millions who need it in Africa will require large, medium, and small-sized units and centralized and decentralized technologies in grade, mini-grade, and non-grade solutions in renewable energy sources. The cause of energy deficiency for domestic and industrial use in Africa is fund. Fund for power generation, fund for power transmission, and fund for power distribution, all on mega scale at this moment. But if 3 or more developed and emerging economies in a joint collaborative effort among them and among their private sector work seriously together for 10 to 20 years, I strongly believe that the world will achieve a breakthrough in renewable energy from solar, wind, water, hydrogen, tidal, biomass, and geothermal. The combined spirit of innovation and discovery available, added to entrepreneurial spirit, will make a difference to individual effort at governmental or private sector level. Such combined effort will also save cost and time. Talking to researchers and scientists with technologists, I have been made to believe that with combined and concentrated efforts, there could be large-scale, medium, and domestic-scale availability of power from solar, wind, biomass, and hydrogen within the next decade or two. The Director General of UNIDO has said we will hear from the experts about this. Renewable energy is an imperative because of the benefits and advantages it provides. The technologies the technologies are clean source of energy that have a much lower environmental pollution impact than conventional energy technologies. Renewable energy sources will not run out as other sources of conventional energy that are finite and will someday be completely depleted. In technological terms, the renewable energy technologies extend the boundary of technology and knowledge, much more so than the technologies of conventional energy. Since the sources of renewable energy are local, investment will be essentially made where the sources are, and labor will also be mainly local. It will essentially boost local economy, particularly in the area of job creation, for every nation involved, and where sources are local, it will increase energy security. The energy challenges of Africa seem daunting while they are at the same time urgent. Much as Africa is making appreciable progress in other areas, progress in the energy sector is neither fast nor determined enough. Compelling evidence on the continent and elsewhere have shown that Africa has no alternative to clean, efficient, and adequate energy supply than renewable energy. The sources are Africa-based, and African leaders, in appreciating this as the appropriate solution, have separately and collectively embarked on policies and programs to support renewable energy revolution. African leaders through the AU, the African Union, and NEPAD, the Program of African Union, with the collaboration of UNIDO, have adopted a renewable energy action plan consisting of programs and actions designed to make renewable energy pivotal to their solution of energy deficiency and of their general development problems. The action plan by itself is realistic and forward-looking, but it will need consistent and focused attention, and of course, collaboration of Africa's development partners and friends for its successful actualization. Africa must not be delinked from the renewable energy revolution, the benefit of which must be globally available and globally enjoyed. Africa is blessed with the sources of renewable energy that, with technological breakthrough, we should not only be self-sufficient, we should be great exporters of renewable energy to other parts of the world. So, what some African countries may lose in the export of their fossil energy products, Nigeria, and as the Director General has said, Sierra Leone, that is looking to exporting oil and gas, may be getting worried. But you shouldn't get worried, because you can make up for what you will lose in fossil energy products in renewable energy export, if we will partner with foreign entrepreneurs and investors. But more importantly, all Africa will have access to adequate energy at all levels, industrial, megacities, and in hamlets and rural villages. With a breakthrough in renewable energy and subsequent reduction in price that will follow in due course, renewable energy holds the promise for Africa's energy self-sufficiency and availability, and energy access to all and everywhere for domestic and industrial use. Those who paid for the initial research and development will also make their money back. I see renewable energy revolution as a win-win for all. But more importantly, we can have uninhibited but prudent use of energy, provided we can pay for it without polluting the environment and adding to the danger of climate change, and without endangering the existence of human beings and other lives on Earth. With renewable energy revolution, we can all help to keep nature in balance and ensure sustainable development. Thank you for listening.